Did you know that you can actually do interest targeting with Google Ads just like you would with Facebook ads or TikTok ads? But unfortunately, it's not so easy to do interest targeting or ideal audience targeting with Google Ads. It's not as straightforward, but there are a couple of ways to work around this. And the first way, which is one of the easiest, is to focus on your product titles and descriptions. Now, what you want to understand with Google Ads is Google's algorithm just goes on your website and it crawls through your website top to bottom, left to right. That means it's reading every single one of these pieces of characters or these pieces of words here to understand, number one, what you sell, and then number two, if you're a real brand or not with all of the information you provided, if you have policy pages or not, etc. So they're trying to get an idea of what kind of brand you truly are. But during the process, they end up reading your product titles and your product descriptions to do interest targeting, to do ideal audience targeting, because that's how the algorithm knows what kind of audience you're going after and what kind of keywords you're going after. This is where keyword research becomes so crucial, because for example, if I were searching for the keyword portable air conditioner and some of these brands had not done proper SEO techniques or they hadn't really made their product titles the right way, then their air conditioners, which are not portable, which may not really be able to be carried from one place to another, may end up showing here. And that's not a good thing, because number one, it's completely different from what the user is searching for, and number two, it does not make the user going on Google to search up different products and keywords want to purchase from that platform. So Google's main goal at the end of the day, it's to make money. And the way Google does that is if your product titles are number one, relevant, if they have high perceived value, and finally, if they have the right kinds of search engine optimized keywords. So that's why it's so crucial for you to find the right kinds of keywords for your brand and for your product titles and make sure they're relevant, because that is how Google algorithm understands what you are selling. And when you type in different keywords here, for example, portable air conditioner, or for example, best air conditioner, you want the products that you sell to be appearing here for the right kinds of keywords. And Google's algorithm wants these keywords so it can do ideal audience targeting for your brand. It's one of the easiest and most straightforward ways to do interest targeting with Google. And this is something you must absolutely get right if you want your campaigns to even show any types of results. Because I always say this, if your foundation is not strong, it doesn't matter what kind of fancy ad strategy you have, doesn't matter what kind of crazy landing page experience you have, it's not going to work out, period. But with that, we move on to the second approach, which you can use to do interest targeting or ideal audience targeting. And this is to use the search themes and audience signals section within a given campaign. Now, this is ideal for Performance Max campaigns, because if you click right here over on the right hand side under signals, you now have the ability to add different search themes in. You can also add in different kinds of signals, so on and so forth. Ideally, I recommend you have multiple different asset groups within your approach and strategy, where one has search themes and the other one has audience signals. You want to know exactly what's working versus what's not working. So for example, the best approach for search themes is to be as closely relevant as possible to what you are trying to sell. So for example, if you're trying to sell portable air conditioners, don't make it so that it's very, very narrow, such as portable air conditioner within the search theme. You might want to just write in air conditioner, or maybe best air conditioner, something that has heavier search volume, because the goal of search themes is you want to give Google's algorithm some words and phrases people use when searching for your product, and these should be broad words and phrases, because then when you have something that's broad here, the algorithm will now go inside these set of people, this group of people who search these keywords up, and then it will narrow down on it by itself with proper product titles, with proper descriptions, with other campaign strategies. That's where your strategies and your approach for your feed really helps. That's for one approach, which is the search themes approach within one asset group. The next approach is what I like to call the super signals approach. Now, this approach is fairly simple. That's exactly what we have implemented here, which is a brand under my agency, Your Marketing, which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $1 million a year, you need a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to multi-seven figures with Google Ads. Go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see essentially how we can work together and make that happen. But if you look at all of these audiences right here, majority of these audience signals we have used under data, it's all retargeting. It's either people who have purchased, general visitors, abandoners, etc. Because this is the highest quality of data, highest quality of traffic we can feed the algorithm. But that's not all. If we scroll down, we have done a bit of interest targeting as well. We have basically gone as broad as possible within that general niche to then go after those specific people that shop within that niche. So it's keeping, again, things very broad and just very generic. And then finally, demographics, we have not really done anything here, just kept it as it should be. So it's mostly the data plus the interest and detailed demographics that we're using and trying to be as broad as possible while also having a little bit of a taste of the retargeting audiences for extra help. But that's essentially a very generic strategy we're taking here. It's called the audience super signal approach. You want to ideally be testing this separately from the search themes approach, because that's when you will know whether it's the search themes that are working or whether it's the audience signals that are working. But this now brings us to the final kind of strategy which you can be using to scale your brand and to target your ideal audience much quicker, and it's to use the audiences section. This is available within any campaign that's not a performance max campaign. Now, when you go inside the audiences section within a campaign, you have the ability to add different audience segments in. And the beautiful thing about this is you don't need to just target these audience segments. You can choose and leave it on observation, which is essentially when Google's algorithm is observing the people you choose here and then trying to find similar people according to those audience segments. Is one of the most powerful ways to target your ideal audience. Now, it's not exactly interest targeting, but it comes very close to that. And what you want to do here again is you want to choose retargeting audience segments. You don't want to go after cold traffic here because that would leave things too broad. What we always do is we try to find how they have interacted with your business, and then we go under website visitors, try to add all of the ones that are the most kind of hot traffic possible, the highest form of traffic possible, and then we like to just keep it at that basically and run the campaign on an observation basis so the campaign's algorithm can go after people similar to those and make it easy to do ideal audience targeting. All these things we're doing here, it's just done to direct the algorithm in the right direction. It's not necessarily interest targeting. Just because you choose something on an observation basis does not mean it's always going to go after that kind of person. It's simply going to observe it on a broad level and then try to find similar people according to that. But these three tactics, these are three ideal ways to target your audience. You want to use all three of them together to really scale your campaigns and to get them data quickly so you can actually get some consistency and momentum long term. But again, if you run a brand doing $1 million a year, you need just a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to the next level, go on to my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see essentially how we can work together and make that happen. But check out this video right here on how I make Google shopping ads go viral for e-commerce brands.